DogWorks Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
You can support this podcast on patreon.com/firstpawmedia.
Welcome to DogWorks Radio. Dogs do pretty weird stuff sometimes. Here are expert answers to some questions you've been begging to ask your dog. Thanks to our friends from the American Kennel Club and the Dog Writers Association of America for helping us out on this episode. After this episode, ask yourself, what new ideas has this conversation sparked for you? Then share this episode with a family member or friends and discuss it together. As always, ping me over on Instagram at firstpawmedia. Just remember, dog training is a big commitment and accountability is a huge part. You can do it. I believe in you. But before we dive into this episode, can I ask a favor? If you have been listening to DogWorks Radio for a while now, say 3 or more episodes, and you like what you hear, would you consider leaving us a 5-star review? Something simple, 2 or 3 sentences max, is perfect for telling the world about what you like about this podcast and what you have learned and why you are a rabid listener. This helps us tremendously. Just scroll down in your favorite podcast player and click the leave a review button. Super simple. And thanks so much for tapping that subscribe button. This month we've got listeners in 57 countries worldwide. So, hello to our listeners in Dallas, Chicago, Norfolk, and our friends in the Netherlands. We are happy you are tuning in. Okay, it's time to dive in. Are you ready?
From First Paw Media, sponsored by Alaska Dog Works Professional Canine Training Center in Anchorage, Alaska. This is DogWorks Radio, committed to families and their dogs to build lifelong and fulfilling relationships. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert and Michele Forto.
Hello and welcome to DogWorks Radio. On today's episode, we are doing something fun. We came up with 13 questions that we bet you wish you could ask your dog. Let's get started. 13 odd questions you wish you could ask your dog, to be specific. Why do you kick up the lawn after you pee? Kicking up dirt after peeing isn't actually a common behavior. According to Rosie Beskaby, a clinical animal behaviorist who spoke with Live Science, only 10% of dogs will actually carry out this kind of behavior. This behavior is called ground scratching and is a passed down trait from wolves and coyotes. In order for pack leaders to claim proper territory, they would use this behavior to set a boundary of where not to cross the line. Peeing in the spot doesn't just send the signal. Spreading the dirt helps to draw that line. Why are you afraid of the vacuum cleaner? Has your dog been exposed to a vacuum sound besides when you're actually vacuuming? Probably not. PetMD states that dogs will feel sound phobia when they are exposed to noises they aren't familiar with. It's probably the reason your dogs like to run and bark at passing cars or other unfamiliar noises. Why do you eat grass? According to the American Kennel Club, they just like the way it tastes. According to Andrea Rediger, writing for the Purdue University College of Veterinary Medicine, another theory states that undomesticated dogs are naturally omnivores, meat and plant eaters. Therefore, domesticated dogs instinctively include plant material in their diet. Alternatively, some speculate that undomesticated dogs would ingest plant material in the stomachs of their prey, and therefore the species developed a taste for it. Why do you sniff other dogs' butts? With a couple inhales, any dog can ascertain if another dog is an old acquaintance or a new one, if they're male or female, and if they're aggressive or passive. Amazing, right? Why do you stick your head out the car window? Because dogs have a greater sense of smell than humans when they stick their heads out of the window. They're exposed to an intense smelling experience. The air getting forced into their nose might intensify the odors, making it extra exciting for the dog. What's more is dogs can recognize locations based on the smells, which might also explain their desire to stick their head out of the window. Do I really need to pick up your poop? Back in the day, when you took your dog for a walk, they would do their business and then you'd keep on walking. It wasn't until boomers were growing up and plastic bags were everywhere that people started picking up their dog's waste. Fast forward 50 years and dog poop totals about 10 million tons per year. That's more than human waste in 1959. Dog owners everywhere are determined to keep their yard tidy and are required to keep public spaces clean. But there's a problem. A plastic problem. Americans use close to 1 billion single-use plastic bags per year, according to the Center for Biological Diversity. So as a responsible dog owner, what should you do? Leave the waste where it lies? Wrap it in plastic and throw it away? Who knows? Why do you follow me into the bathroom? Your dog is the furry companion you can always count on to be by your side, even when you don't need it, like when you're using the bathroom. While it's true we often attend their potty breaks, do they really have to attend ours? If you've been wondering, why does my dog follow me? We've got answers. If your dog follows you into the bathroom, it's likely a result of their animal instinct and pack mentality. Canines who do this are referred to as Velcro dogs, due to their desire to be attached to your side. They may follow you around, even to the bathroom, to protect a part of their pack. Without you in sight while you're home, they may feel a sense of vulnerability. Why do you spin around before you poop? Most dog owners have probably been puzzled and possibly impatient, waiting for their dog to do its business. Instead of just finding a soft area of grass to go number 2, they make a whole ritual out of it, spinning in a circle before finally squatting. Luckily, the ultimate pet owner's question may finally have been answered. A few theories have circulated about why dogs might circle before pooping, and most are similar to the reasons they spin before lying down. Trampling around in a circle would flatten the grass around, which would keep tall blades from trapping their waist and hitting their tushes while they poop. Yuck. Another explanation could be that they're scanning for snakes and predators before they become completely occupied. Should you be wearing a seatbelt? Chances are you buckle up when you're on the road, but think nothing of leaving your dog untethered. If so, join the crowd. 84% of pet owners don't restrain their dogs on car trips, according to a survey done by AAA, along with Kurgo, a pet company, in 2011. Even if you've got the chillest dog on the planet and see no reason to confine her, as 42% of the survey respondents believed, you're just going on a quick drive. The short answer for does your dog need a seatbelt is yes, they do, says Lindsay Wolko, founder of the Center for Pet Safety, a nonprofit research and consumer advocacy organization. Why do you eat poop? According to PetMD, one of the more common reasons dogs will eat their poop is mimicking what they've seen while growing up. It's typical for mothers to eat the puppy's feces in order to protect the puppies from predators. Without feces, there's no scent to track. The puppy will obviously mimic the behavior of the mother. Why do you dig in flower beds? Dogs often dig due to boredom. To prevent your pet from heading to flower beds for some fun, create a play zone all their own. Dig out a shallow area in your yard, then fill it with sand and some toys. This play pit should be much more enticing than your flower beds. Why is your nose wet? Anyone who has just gotten nuzzled by an affectionate dog knows you'll probably need to wipe your face afterwards. Turns out that dogs have wet noses for several important reasons, says Pete Lands, DVM, Director of Emergency and Critical Care at St. Francis Veterinary Center in Swedensboro, New Jersey. First, dogs' noses secrete mucus, which helps them track smells in the air. One of the reasons that the noses are going to be wet is because the secretion will come out of the inner part of the nose and sit on top of the nose, Lance says. Another reason, dogs don't sweat the way humans do. Their noses act as a cooling mechanism and evaporating fluid from their nose to help cool their bodies. How much exercise do you need? Family tree, that is. Hundreds of years of breed-specific genetics run through your dog's veins, and it's best to cater to their genetics for optimal mental and physical health. For example, dogs that were bred to herd, pull carts, or hunt will need more exercise because historically their days were filled with activity and their bodies were made to move more often. On the other hand, some breeds like toys, such as the Shih Tzu and Pekingese, prefer snuggle time over leash time. These breeds were bred to be lap dogs for royalty. Okay, let's press pause for a sec. Maybe ask yourself, why did this resonate with me? What aspect of my relationship with my canine buddy could I apply to this? And what am I going to do differently this week to make my dog's training a little easier? So take time to mull it over, talk it out with a family member or trusted friend, put some ideas down in your training journal, and then check back next week for our next episode. And as always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this episode. So reach out and DM me over on Instagram at First Paw Media, and let's spark a conversation. Until then, keep going. You're doing great. It is time to create the relationship with your dog that you always dreamed of. Thanks for listening to DogWorks Radio. You can find the show notes for this episode and all others at alaskadogworks.com. And if you know someone in your life who needs help with their dog's training, be a hero and share our podcast with them. And we will see you next time.
From First Paw Media, this is DogWorks Radio. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you'll see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert and Michele Forto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media.